Hi, welcome to ThinkTech. We are raising public awareness on technology, energy, diversity, and globalism. This show is Center Stage. I'm your host, Donna Blanchard, proud managing director of Kumukuhua Theater. We're coming to you live from Pioneer Plaza in the heart of downtown Honolulu, very near Kumukuhua Theater. I am very excited to talk today with members of the group Storm, Sandy Essman, and Gerald Gonsalves. He's going to let me know if I'm not pronouncing that correctly in just a moment. I want to also let you know that if you would ever like to join us in our downtown studio audience, please email j@thinktechhawaii.com. And if you would like to join our conversation today, you may by tweeting us at ThinkTechHI. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Sandy and Gerard, who just lost his microphone for we're going to get that clipped back in there. Can you see? Can you help him?
I got it. You guys can talk.
See what's going on? All right, we'll talk while you're doing that. Did I say your name right?
It's Gonsalves, but Gonsalves works. It's good.
Yeah. I should have asked that before.
That's
So what I'd like to start off talking about is what you are working on right now.
Well, right now, Storm, our band, which includes myself, Gerard, Darren Sullivan, Eric Barker, and Jace Lefebvre, we are all collaborating on creating our second album, which is called Medusa, and it is a concept album. So it has a story of Medusa that will come and develop through each song, and will create this beautiful, beautiful story from our version of music with metal, heavy metal, and bring this story to life. And hopefully we get it out on stage for performance.
That's fascinating.
Our idea with this album, being that it's a concept album, is let the secret out of the bag right now. But we, when we perform this, we don't want to perform it like a usual rock concert, go to the club, do a rock concert thing. We want to perform it. It's going to be, it's in the, it's a musical. It's like a, it's like a play. So our idea is to actually have it in theaters and perform it in different theaters around town, possibly on the outer islands too. But not to, not to perform it in the normal way that a rock band would, do a show. Being that it's a concept album, because we do have. We have a couple of other singers that are joining us as characters. They're singing their parts on the album, and they've agreed to perform when we do our performance live. They're going to come out in costume. She's, of course, going to be in costume, acting out her role, which is Medusa. And we'll have, we have Kevin Jones, who's playing Perseus. He's going to come out, and he's got I think he's got 3 numbers that he's going to sing, a couple of duets with her. And then we have Marty Curtin, who's doing Athena. And so she'll come out and do her part. So the idea is to have it one long, constant show. Right now we're actually working on the idea of having a narrative in between songs so that there's no dead space. After this particular part of the story, there's going to be a narration of what just happened, what's going to happen, where, what's going to be happening next. And then the next song will take us into that. And it goes all the way to
It's almost
the
like a little rock opera, but
Rock
not
opera.
not as developed as a major production, but just something that will just introduce and blend the two of a show, a musical live show, along with that theatrical points. It's a blend, hybrid.
Yeah.
So we like to tap into that because I don't think it has not really been touched on in Hawaii. That's something we like to do here.
Yeah.
It's not touched on very often anywhere.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be a part of a rock opera, a Macbeth, the rock opera, which was, it was a really cool way to bring that story to an entire new group of people who normally would not be going to a theater to see that story.
Exactly.
Where are you in the process of it now? Is everything written?
We actually, there's 12 tracks. We've got everything written. We've got about 3/4 of it where it's at pretty much a finished point. So it's just a matter of getting everybody tracked. We've already got most of the songs tracked, most of the parts of the songs tracked. We're just waiting for a bit here, and
Tracked is putting the instruments.
putting the instruments
recording
on recording, yeah. And then there's a couple of songs that were just recently finished by Jace, in fact, and one that was just finished by Eric, our two newest members. So with those songs, it's a matter of us. What we do is we write our stuff, and then we rehearse it before we actually put down the final tracks, just so that when we do track, it's very comfortable and familiar to us. So that's going to give us the best performance, you know. So we're in the midst of rehearsing and recording at the same time.
Okay. Oh, well, see, that process sounds very familiar to me as a stage actress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's different from usually there wouldn't be the rehearsal that goes into it.
Yeah. It's it's before our band got together. I was in another band with our bass player Darren, and we recorded an album. But what we did was we wrote and recorded the album before we even had a rehearsal. So the album was actually released, and then we got together and started rehearsing as a band, which was kind of backwards way of doing it.
Yeah. How did that work out?
It didn't really work out too good. The band was called Sin 73, and it's actually still an active band. But because of that situation, we decided to just make it a recording project instead of an actual band that's going to go do shows and stuff like that. I just released last month a follow-up album to that. It's kind of got floating members now that that particular way of doing it didn't work out. So me and Darren, being the constant in the band, decided to just make it a recording project. So now we got a guitar player, Jimmy Catterin, who does all my mixing and mastering. Hi, Jimmy. And he's watching in Arizona. And so we got him to play the guitar. So that's the core that's set for that band. And on our first, we're doing a trilogy now. We just released the first of a trilogy. It's a sci-fi concept. Again, with the concept. Sci-fi trilogy. First album, we had Mark Caldera from Kailua Bay Buddies singing the lead part. And in the first, not to give away any secrets, but in the first CD, his character dies. At the end of the story, he gives his power to his wife, who's in Cairo sleep, which is Sandy. Now we're going to do the second of the trilogy. She sings the main part as the wife in her attempt to avenge her husband's death by the Federation. It's a long story.
And this is with a different band.
This is with the Sin 73 band, yeah.
Yes.
But she was also on the first album too. She sang. We had a part in there. So with the concepts, we get to bring in other artists that are friends of ours to sing parts and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. But I think I lost track of what I was saying.
Going back to the storm.
Going back.
Well, let's go back to, at the top of the show, we played the Ole that you had.
Right.
That happened on July 3rd.
Yes, we had a show on July 3rd. It was also to commemorate Gerard's birthday, which was on July 2nd. And we always perform an Ole before every show. This is just to give thanks and appreciation. Give thanks to our past, our present, our future, to give that positive energy out, to give that intention of what we love and what our passion is with music, and to share it with the world. And it's just a good way to balance things and just bring us together as a whole to deliver that best of performances that you can, to share it with our audience.
There's something you couldn't see when you were watching it here. You couldn't hear it, but when you did that Ole on July 3rd, there was very loud music in the background.
Yes.
It was so
Yes.
incongruent.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
it was actually Journey, Don't Stop
Journey.
Believing.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing in the background, but you're so focused on what you're doing. You're
Yes,
perfectly
yes.
in it, and the whole group is right there, and that's really
Right.
awesome that you begin that way. It really sets the tone.
Yes, it's just.
And then you come out in your goth metal rock.
You know, the funny thing about the Oli too is that the first time that we did it, and me and Sandy are very close, I didn't even know we were going to do it. I had no idea what we were going to do. She just said, hey, everybody get together, everybody hold hands, and she just started going, and we all got chicken skin. It was just like, wow. And it was powerful because, and we all felt it, you know, at the end, we all felt really like, let's go on stage and kick butt now, you know. So it was good.
It's
Very
just
cool.
a great way to ground and to center, because anytime during any performance, you could be up there and a pop rock star and all, but there's always that part of you that's like, you may get that jitters. So this will just bring everything back, focus, center, and deliver. That's what we do.
Awesome. We have a question on the
Oh.
Will your album be based on the classic story of Medusa or an adaptation? Are you concerned about the audience turning to stone? Thank you.
I'm concerned about the band turning into stuff. There's so many different versions of the story of Medusa. There's so many different versions. So basically, we're kind of we're throwing out to each other all these, well, you know, this is supposed to be this on this and what. And we throw it off to each other, and then we kind of just agree on, okay, let's go that way with that particular part of the story. Our bass player, Darren's also an author. So he has a published book and stuff. So he's kind of, when it comes to the concept things, he's kind of the guy that we let him write the story, because it's usually really good. So so he came up with the basic outline. Okay, this is what happened on what I heard, and then someone will say, well, you know, I heard a version where this actually happens in this part, and we go, well, then we got to think performance-wise. Okay, are we going to be able to pull that off live? Is it something that we're going to need a ton of people to pull off, or can we just do it ourselves and whatever? So, and then we just make a decision, what everybody agrees on, and we just go from there.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually kind of took a twist in the story about Medusa's not cut and dry. She gets turned into a ghost, and she just turns evil. She's bad. This is about the angst of a beautiful priestess who was violated and got turned into this gruesome beast, all because she was, you know, beautiful, and in Athena's eyes, even though she was loyal to Athena, Athena just thrashed at her, just like, forget it. And so she's dealing with her hurt from Athena and being trashed, so to speak, and having to deal with the curse that has been cast on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of starting at the point where, okay, she's cursed and now she's evil, we go back and we say, okay, first she was beautiful, she wasn't doing anything wrong, and then this happened to her, and because of this happened.
So she has an inner battle to deal with.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Wicked version. I mean, didn't we all love when we got the Wicked Witch of the West story before?
Yeah,
You know,
it's like that.
It is an awesome story, so much passion, and there's something that you can, we portray emotions on stage all the time, but when you do it with music and you have the music, you know, swelling and building, and all of that makes it so much more powerful, I think. How cool that you're doing that. All right, we're gonna take our first break. Hold on for just a minute. You hold on for just a minute too. You want to make sure that you stay near your screen wherever you're watching this, because we're going to come back at the top of the next 15. We're going to see part of one of their performance from July 3rd, and it's really awesome. So we'll see you in a moment.
Hi, I'm Ethan Allen. I'm the host of Likeable Science on ThinkTech Hawaii. We talk about why people should like science, why science is actually fun, how science is a dynamic and vital part of everyone's life, why everyone, every man, woman, and child on the planet should really know science, should love science, should be familiar with science. So it's a great show. People come on here and have interesting conversations with us. They tell us why they do what they do, why they love it, why we should love it too. I hope you'll join us every Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. And of course, you can see it anytime on YouTube. Aloha.
Hi, we're back and we're live. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii digital series. And you just saw a performance by Storm at Hawaiian Brian's on July 3rd. And I do want to give credit, that was a Lolo Brothers production, that video. The video was shot by Damon Ramsey and the photos by Joe Corelli. And their show is coming up right after this one. Let's get back to what we were talking about. So Medusa, I just want to sort of wrap that up. When can you see that or hear it?
The album is slated for release next year, 2016. Hopefully early part of the year. So I'd like January 1st, because we released our first album. So
hopefully.
But if not, I'm looking at maybe Valentine's Day.
Awesome.
Yeah. So little significance.
Yes.
No story. Just Medusa. It's kind of.
Yeah, no, it's a good time to tell
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
to tell that story.
Yeah, so.
Very cool. And I happen to know of a theater. Just in case
yes.
you get
We're going to talk to you about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of little, but you
That's okay.
don't
That's
need a lot
okay.
of ampage.
It's wonderful.
in
Yeah.
there.
The point too of doing the theater thing is really not to, okay, can we get how much people are going to come to our gig? It's more to present this to the people who are interested in seeing it. More the theater crowd.
Yes.
Of course, we'd like our rockers to come down and check it out too, but this is also, we plan to have it advertised as a theater event, as a musical, as a rock opera, so that people that enjoy theater will come too, because we want to meet those people too.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
that's cool. I love it when you bridge
We like to just
different media.
break outside the box and push the boundaries and just see what other people and circles are out there that would just enjoy our interpretation of our music and just do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's now, if we could, go back into who you are and how Storm developed. I'd like to do that. And Sandy, if we could start with you.
All right.
You're clearly a classically trained singer, and you've worked with a few different bands and groups on the island. But can we go back to when you were in grade school?
Child.
What kind of music were you listening to?
Oh gosh, I was listening to my mother and my father. Well, my father in particular, he is a slack key guitar player, and he would listen to Gabby all the time. So, and on the nights where my sister were scared at night from thunder and lightning, he'd come, sit on the side of her bed, bust his guitar out, start singing and playing his slack key until we fell asleep. And that was just one of my fondest memories of my dad, just singing to us and playing his music. But basically, my family has been very musical. My mother was a singer. She went to Farrington High School, and she actually went to school with Dick Jensen, and all of that. Was in the Glee Club with them, and just enjoyed singing. I think I got my genetics from her, and my dad played guitar, and I also have cousins who are very, very musical as well, and have played in bands. But growing up, I was always singing. People couldn't shut me up. And,
we still can.
Anyway, growing up, what did I say growing up? It took a back seat, and just was in a few bands after that in my 20s, helping some friends of mine who had their own little recording studio. There was a CD that came out called Love Songs in Paradise. This is back in '96, I believe. And that was a really wonderful project to be a part on. And there was another, this is back in the cassette days. And I was in a background singer for this other gal. I think her name was Sibley. And this was a cassette tape or album called Naleo Oho Hawaii, and it was various artists from Hawaii, and we got to be a part of that project. And it actually, I think Sibley's song made it to the Hawaiian stations. It was called Island Boy. And it was a reggae song.
So it was a reggae song. Oh yeah, clearly
Yes.
we have traveled some distance from there. We're gonna break that down
Yes.
just a little bit more.
Yes.
So you're in high school. Are you taking? Was there any voice lessons
Actually,
then?
back in I was just singing just from normal and no singing, proper formal singing lessons until I went into college, and I was classically trained by Miss Marilyn Kim, Professor Marilyn, and I also trained with her privately for a good 3-4 years as such, and because of that has opened up so much more of the strength in my voice and what I do. So it's actually made my voice stronger.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, did you know how to use
Yeah.
the instrument?
I did, but she's actually given me more training on how to do it properly without straining my vocal cords, and it's been a wonderful experience, and I just value everything that she's given to me.
So did you study
Awesome.
music in college? Was that, did
Yes,
you,
it was voice.
that's
It
where
was
you wanted to go?
voice that I've studied.
Okay, so where does metal come in?
Metal is just something that I've always loved since I was a child.
Oh,
I would collect these. You know, back in the old days, there was this little Manipua man who would sell these little Kiss stickers with the gum in it, and it had all the Kiss cards in it. I would always save my money and go and buy them so I could make that big poster in the back and just find all the cards and put them all together. It was things like that. I grew up in Germany, Scorpions, that type of music.
so the Blackout Tour.
Yes.
That was my
yes.
first concert ever, the Blackout Tour.
But I guess along the way, back in about 2010, my friends have rediscovered me, and I've had the opportunity to sing with Benny Mardones, Joe Puerta of Ambrosia, and John Ford Coley in a show called Love Rocks. And it was just a great group of people that we performed at the Hawaii Theater, and just to be among people of that stature, to me, I was like in awe of them, and it was really wonderful to be there.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Do you have a day job? Do
Me?
you
Right
something
now,
other
no,
than this?
I'm getting my license as a massage therapist. So right now, I do kind of just help people out what I can
Awesome.
with massage, and I will become licensed soon.
Awesome. That comes in handy in the
Yes.
business too.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will, yes.
Okay, Gerard, Kiss stickers? Were you collecting those too?
Kiss stickers.
Cards.
I was buying the
Cards.
albums and trying to learn the drum parts. And no, I didn't collect stickers. I collected baseball cards.
Baseball card. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was more cards and stickers.
Yeah.
Oh, cards. Okay. I didn't collect them. I remember, they were around. Anyway, you were young. Did you come from a musical family?
Yes, I did. My brother Lee I credit him as my the one that got me into playing drums, because when I was a kid, he was playing drums around town in Waikiki. He actually played drums for Nephi Hanneman's group, who's the Mayor Mufi Hanneman's brothers band, and they played all over the place. And he went from there to headlining his show at the Garden Bar at the Hilton, where he was like the lead singer with the Pom Pom Girls and all that kind of stuff. So he was the biggest influence on me playing drums, because there was we shared a bedroom. There was drums always in the room and stuff, and that's how it started. My dad was a drummer in high school. My dad's dad, back in the early 20s, he was known as the Kaimuki one-man band. He used to have the one-man, all the instruments, and he actually has about maybe 8 recordings on Bell Records, 78s, that I still have, that I'm trying to transfer so that you can hear them now. But yeah, so I come from a musical family.
Did you study music in school?
Yes, played in band, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So and I'm assuming that both of you had family members, even though you had music in your family, you had people saying, but you're so good at math, or, do something else if you can.
No.
No?
I wasn't good in
School.
I wasn't good in school at all. So it was my parents especially were very supportive of me. I mean, we used to I used to set up my drums in the garage and just play with the door wide open, and the cops would come. And my mom, they would say, hey, you got to turn it down or stop playing or whatever. And as soon as they leave, my mom would say, let me go, and she'd start playing the drums. And I mean, they were very supportive. I mean, of course, the long hair was a little bit. They had to get used to that because they're old school, so they had to get used to that but they were always supportive. They never told me, you know, not to play. You know, they always bought me instruments when I needed instruments and stuff like that. So they're, you know, my family's very supportive of that.
So you've played in several different bands. What was the first band that you got into?
First band I was ever in was, oh boy, this is like 1979.
Was it,
And it was like in high school. It's called Quadriflow. Quadriflow.
Did you go to school together?
No.
No.
I went to Damien, all boys school.
Oh.
So she better not have been there.
Oh.
She shouldn't have lasted 5 minutes there. But yeah, you know, I played in a Stage Fright was a band that I think was people that were around in the 80s remember Stage Fright because they were kind of a known band. But probably the most known band I was in was Aaron's Rod, which was 1985. And you know, we got to open up for like Judas Priest at, you know, Blaisdell, and we were signed to, you know, a record deal and all that kind of stuff. So so that was pretty good as a 20. You know, I was about 25 years old at the time. So that was pretty. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you were into it, both of you. I'm always interested to know why people do what they do. Why do we feel this urge to do it? And you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And you both sound like from childhood, you just had to do this.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go into a second break, because that's a big question.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about that. We're going to come back in just about a minute, so please stay put. We're going to be back with Sandy Essman and Gerald Gonsalves of Storm. Please stay put.
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a senator from the Big Island and the ER physician. Every other Tuesday, I get to host a show here on the ThinkTech program about healthcare. We call it Healthcare in Hawaii. It's really enjoyable for me to bring other healthcare leaders from around the state to talk about our pressing issues. Hawaii has long been the health state, but we need to keep up the momentum, the inertia, and with your help and with your participation, we can come and share all of the big issues that are pressing day to day. Thanks for joining us every Tuesday, alternating weeks from 2 to 2:45.
Hi, I'm your host on ThinkTech Asia, Bill Sharp. I look forward to you joining us each Monday between 4 and 5 o'clock when we film right here in our studio in downtown Honolulu. The show, ThinkTech Asia, focuses on contemporary events in Asia. And by Asia, we mean anything from Hawaii, south to Australia and New Zealand, west to Pakistan, and as far north as the Russian Far East. Clearly, this is one of the most economically dynamic centers of the world, and we bring you up to date on what's going on in a whole host of countries in this very vital region. We look forward to seeing you. Aloha.
Hi, we're back. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii Digital Series. I'm your host, Donna Blanchard, proud managing director of Kumukuhua Theater, and I am talking with Sandy Essman and Gerald Gonsalves of the goth metal band Storm. And I love talking about your childhood first, and then why. What I'd really like to get into is why Storm? How did that evolve?
Gosh, Storm. Storm had evolved after our previous band that Gerard and I were in had dissolved. It was a
Pat Benatar tribute
It was a Pat
band.
Benatar tribute band.
Yeah.
And when that had dissolved, Gerard was asking me, "Do you write? Do you write music?" I said, "Yeah. Okay, let me send you a track and everything. We'll see what we can write. What kind of lyrics you can write on that." It's like, "Oh, sure." And so with that writing and just that clicking and that chemistry that became from that too evolved Storm. Actually, he asked me one day, I think it was back in January 11th, was it 2014, that he said, "Sandy, you want to let's think about making a band."
Oh, that's not that long ago.
No.
No.
Ian, while we're talking about this, can we show some of the pictures, please? Oh, by photographer Joe Curling. There you go. So not that long ago, and how did you get... Let's do. We'll get the CD cover up there, too. So in that amount of time, you've written all of the music that you do?
Well, what happened was when I asked her if she could write lyrics and she said yes, I sent her 2 tracks of music. She sent me back lyrics and melody, I think within a day. And I said, well, I had a bunch of songs that I was sitting on. So I just started sending her songs and writing. I continued to write.
Right.
And then our bass player, Darren, in the beginning, and with that album, it was just the 3 of us. And we wrote all the
Right.
songs on this
Right.
album.
For,
Yeah.
for Storms.
You go ahead and put that up.
This is called Storms Are Brewing, and yes, it was done within, what, 3-4 months, written,
Written.
everything?
Yeah, it was written
Yeah.
pretty fast because
This is
I
the
had a
worst.
bunch of songs, and then our bass player Darren had a bunch of songs that he had written for actually like an industrial instrumental kind of stuff, where, you know, it just went on for 16 measures, and then it changed for another 16 measures. It wasn't formatted for vocals because it was an instrumental. So I chopped it up and formatted it for vocals,
Right.
sent those to her. She threw lyrics on that, and I mean the writing. It was
It was
such
just
a
like
organic thing that it was just coming
just
out.
evolved. It
And
just,
we
like,
actually, we had like
exploded.
2 albums worth of stuff.
Yeah, this is like within 6 months, we just
Yeah.
written, it just exploded out of
Yeah.
organically.
So we actually
out
had
of
to
nowhere.
choose songs for that because we had so many.
Because you had so many.
Yeah.
Were you sitting on the lyrics? Did you
Yes.
have some?
Oh, no, he gave me the songs of what Darren and he had made together, and then from that, I would just listen to it and feel it, and then with that, I pull out, what is it telling me? What story is it telling me? And then I just start going into my zone and get into that flow, and it just comes out. Some took not more than an hour to write the lyrics for the song, while some took maybe a day, stuff like that.
Oh,
That's
wow.
about that. Takes me about that long.
That's
2 hours to a
impressive.
day.
But even though,
you let the
know,
music move you rather than the
Yes.
other way
Yeah.
around.
No.
Yeah, but even though with this album, the music, the songs were done before we even had a guitar player or a keyboardist.
Right.
So the good thing is we had a groundwork for when we did get our guitar player and our guitar
Right.
and our keyboard
Right.
player, for them to add their style and their thing to it, which they did. But they kind of they kind of kept true to what we were trying to do with this. I know you called us goth earlier, but
Is that okay?
We're like-
no.
yeah,
We're actually, we call ourselves
progressive.
progressive gothic metal
Yes.
because our guitar player, Jace and Eric, they come from a jazz and a progressive metal background. So their influences on us now, after these songs, is taking us in a
Yes,
new
it's
direction
growing.
where we're actually sounding more
evolving.
like progressive metal with little bit of goth here and there in the songs, in the
Oh.
music. So we build ourselves goth earlier because that's kind of like what we were trying to do. But it's more the goth imagery that we like and that we with our stage show and pictures and stuff like that. But as far as the music, it's kind of evolving into this progressive metal with tinges of goth in there. Yeah. So.
Okay, so where does the music come from for you? Do you like wake up hearing something and say, oh,
Man,
I'm gonna write that?
it varies. I mean, sometimes I'll write something, from a guitar starting point, and sometimes I'll actually write it from a drum standpoint. And there's all kinds of formulas. There's so many formulas, verse, chorus, pre-chorus, or whatever. There's so many different ways of doing it, and I'll start the basic formula, but I like to do things that are not normal, just because you're expecting that. So actually, one song on Medusa, I purposely didn't put a chorus in it. I just wanted it to be verse, 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 big bridge in the middle, verse, 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 verse. We have altered it since then,
Yes,
and put
yes.
we put 2 little pre-choruses in there, but still, it's not the normal, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, and then a solo, and then it's not that
Right,
same,
right.
So I like to do things where they're expecting, okay, the chorus is coming up, and it's not. It's something else, and
Yes.
because it makes it interesting, So
I am interested in starting a piece of music from a rhythm. And then where does the music come in? Are you working alone? Or are you collaborating? Are there other people in the room?
when I'm writing, normally it's by myself.
Same for me too.
By myself, yeah.
You need to be by
Yeah.
yourself. And then you bring it in and the other guys in the band, are they doing the same and then they bring it all together?
The good thing about our band is all of the members are pretty tech savvy as far as we all have our own recording programs, so we're able to track ideas and send them
Just
back and
shoot
forth
to each
via
other.
email or whatever, and say, what do you think of this? How about that? Can you add something to that, or whatever, you know? But most of the times, I think each member, for Medusa anyway, when someone has written a track, they've basically written the whole track. Maybe they've, you know, like that one song. I wasn't sure what to do on the bridge, so I said, hey,
What
Eric, help
ideas?
me out, write a bridge, and he would write a bridge for it, you know, so that kind of stuff. But it varies. I mean, it
Yes.
depends. Sometimes I just hear a rhythm in my head, and I'll put that rhythm down, whether it be on a guitar, on a keyboard, whatever. And then I'll maybe track a drum beat or something, and then from that drum beat, I'll know where I want to go as far as what I'm going to change to next or whatever. you
Yeah,
know.
it's
Kind
a
of
very,
feeling
very
it.
collaborative effort for this second album that we're doing. So it's been a growing process now that we have Jace and Eric that have just given us so much more to put in, and we have evolved from our very first album, which is that Storms Are Brewing. So it's been actually quite these two albums within a year.
Within a year.
Within
And
a
you've
year.
got a lot more
Yeah.
coming.
Yes, and
Yeah.
there's
Well,
a
the
lot
thing is,
more.
we finished, this album was released January 1st, and we immediately said, okay, what are we going to do for our next
Right,
album?
we're always on top.
And then, you know, because we know, okay, we're going to spend the majority of this year playing out this, doing shows for this, or promoting this, or whatever. So let's start now.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Can we
collaborate.
talk about that for a
Yes.
minute? You guys have a promotion machine going that's quite impressive. Who's doing all of that?
Oh, me,
Pretty much
Gerard and
me and
I.
her, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always like on there. I say, oh, who do we have to contact? Who do we need to send this out to? Okay, I even actually, Gerard has been doing a lot of graphics. I've been doing a lot of graphics.
But Darren is
yeah,
our guy.
as Darren
the
is
bass
Darren
player.
also.
He does
He's
all
also
our
doing
press
the graphic,
releases,
yeah.
anything we need, you know, print ready.
Yes.
Any kind of
Professional write-ups.
professional
press-
stuff he'll do
press,
for us, yeah.
We chose the right
Yes.
band member
Yeah.
there.
Not only that,
Yeah.
our keyboardist Eric he's a sound designer
Yes.
by
By
trade.
trade, yes.
So he can create his own sounds. So if we need a special sound for a song, he can create that sound.
That's
And he's also really good with graphics and video
Yeah, from that video
graphics
I
and stuff.
sent,
So
he just did that little.
he did that
Oh,
little
yeah.
5-second clip.
5
We'll
second
see
clip.
that, we'll see that.
Yeah,
too.
so
Let me ask, do you have a day job? You do
I work at
something else?
HPD, Police Department.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm not a policeman though, but.
or is it top secret? Can you tell us?
Yes,
No.
yes.
No. I work in the property and supplies. I basically I take care of all the supplies that they issue to the officers, from pens to guns.
Oh,
You know, everything pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the whole different side of your brain that you're dealing with. You're dealing
Yeah,
with numbers and
yeah.
stuff like that. Although there is a certain amount, there's a number, rhythm is numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it's kind of tough too because you know, when I go to work, I got to be in work mode because a lot of the stuff I do is really important stuff where I can't make a mistake. But I also still have to do band business during the day. You know, I'm getting texts during the day, or I remember something. It's like, San, can you call this person and check out this thing or whatever that I just thought of, because I can't wait till we get home. It's like, you know, I'm at work, my real day job, but I'm constantly
still
thinking about the
thinking.
music and what we need,
Show
what we need to.
My new CD.
Okay, this is
I'm
our
so
CD,
excited about
Storms
it.
Are Brewing. You can get it on iTunes, on CD Baby, Amazon.com, Spotify,
And
iHeart.
Reverb Nation.
and you can, yes,
iHeart.
Reverb Nation
Reverb
as
Nation.
well.
Favorite band? Who's your favorite band?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I grew up with so many. Do I have any in particular? I really can't say. There's so
Oh,
much.
Gerard?
So much.
While she's thinking.
Without a doubt, Thin Lizzy.
And
Thin Lizzy. Phil Lynot's my favorite songwriter of all time. It's just, you know, he's a poet, and even though I'm not a singer, I gravitate to good lyrics and a well-written song. Like the Pina Colada song is a very well-written song. It
It's
tells a
well-written
story.
song. I
You
can sing it
know?
all for you right now if you'd like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, someone's coming into the studio.
Oh my God.
What? Oh,
We're getting video bombed.
It's the Lolo Brothers.
Let's go, guys.
Hello!
His show is coming up next.
Hello!
How we doing?
We're video
Everybody having
bombed.
fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we
Damon
are.
Ramsey
Yes,
and
we
Joe Corelli, who have
We're
both
gonna have
been
some
guests
fun
on this show, by the
Hey,
way.
thank you guys for letting us photobomb your deal here.
No problem.
Video bomb.
Video bomb.
Video bomb.
Video.
Video
bomb.
great pictures you guys had.
Yeah.
I wonder who did that one.
Gee, we have no idea.
Pictures, the video
I
is
have more if you need
edited
it.
Oh.
by David. So what do you, your show is coming up next? What
Our
are you
show's
gonna
coming up.
do on your show? You're
Lola
gonna
Brothers
have
and
these two on your
Friends.
show.
We'd like to have you guys on our show. We'll have to work that out.
Today?
But it is today.
If we last past
If we last past, if we make it through today.
Oh my goodness.
So
In
our
2
show's
minutes, what's on your show?
our show's going to be about it's about for our friends and about our friends, and we're gonna
Music?
we're gonna have
Variety?
music and
Crazy
some comedy
videos?
sketches and people from all over. So it's going to be kind of fun.
Lo-fi.
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 Lo-fi, actually.
Yep.
So,
Homemade, handmade, with a 1960s movie projector.
yep.
That's all we could afford.
It's a 1960s movie projector.
Yeah.
So it's an afternoon of rock and roll here on ThinkTech. We're happy to have
Antics.
all of our guests today. Antics, yes. I think that it's probably going to be a departure from most of the shows on ThinkTech.
We're hoping to
Yes.
branch ThinkTech out a little bit of the box. We're probably not going to talk about the economy. So,
Awesome. You leave that to the
Talk about the weather. Stormy.
It's not really. We can do the weather report. It's hot. It's really hot. It's like sticky hot. So.
Thank you all for being here. We're looking forward to your show coming up. Everybody's going to stay tuned on ThinkTech for that. I would very much like to thank the two of you. It's really nice to get to know you. I love your music. I'm happy about the CD. I'm looking forward to what's coming up next. One of them took it. Oh, Joe took it. Gotta watch those
That's not
guys.
my picture though. They have
I'm really
pictures
looking
of
forward to
it.
what's coming up with Medusa. And yeah, talk to me. We can talk about venue. I'd like to hear more from you.
Facebook,
Great.
Storm 808, and Reverb Nation, Storm 808.
Awesome. Thank you all very much for being here with us. I'm just going to hold my microphone and try to maintain your attention here for just a moment. I would like to thank a few people here in the studio. Ian Davidson, who is our studio overlord right now, Sachi Slomov, who is our floor manager, and Jay Fidel, who somehow manages to put all of this together. Please join us next week. I'm going to be talking with Jay Fidel and Mark Ward about the creative process here at ThinkTech. We'll see you then. Bye.